This episode is brought with thanks to my Patreon supporters, because without them, I'd probably be dead. Hello, I'm a British person, and I feel like I need to be honest with you all for a moment, because I feel like I've been lying to you for a long time. Okay. It's going to be hard for me to say, so just... I don't like Kevin James. I've said it there, and already I feel a great relief in having opened up to you about that. And I'm sure with time, we can rebuild our trust and our relationship. Don't get me wrong, it's not like I've always hated him. My eyes were getting weary and my back was getting tight just like everybody else when King of Queens was in its prime. But when he translated to movies, things got a little... shit. Especially when he made film after film with his new best friend King of Shitty Comedies Adam Sandler. And one of those movies was Blart Mall Cop, a surprise box office smash which was basically Die Hard in a shopping mall filled with fat jokes. I mean, the movie was filled with fat jokes, not the shopping mall. Although I think I've just had my next idea for a Kickstarter. So what's the obvious next step for a movie that was always destined to be a one-note joke and yet does well financially? A sequel. Obvs. And like all lame sequels, it basically copies itself and yet somehow it can't even do that right. So shall we take a look at Blart Mall Cop 2, Mall Harder? No. Okay then. The movie opens with us finding out that Paul's wife, who he married at the end of the first movie, left him after just 6 days. Wow, completely erase everything that happened at the end of the first movie. I mean, it's obvious that that is what would have really happened, but still. In true Paul Blart style, he dives into his work to distract him.
I always had Mom.
Oh, here's my paper.
She's gonna die, isn't she? I always say it's a sign of a good movie when you can predict exactly what's gonna happen. Oh wait, no I don't. But it's not all bad. He is invited to a security guard convention in Las Vegas at the same time that his daughter Maya learns that she's been accepted to UCLA. But she doesn't tell her dad. No, that'll be a handy plot point later. Wow, movie, you're not messing around, are you? Straight in there. Yeah, straight in there with your jokes about luggage. Those luggage-carrying jokes will never get old.
I don't know if you heard. There's going to be a surprise keynote speaker tonight. Word on the street is going to be the officer who's going above and beyond the call of duty. What?
Well, considering it would be a huge dick move to tell somebody that they're a keynote speaker on the day of the event, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not him.
Unfortunately, I am cursed with hypoglycemia. Sugar level drops, so do I. Oh.
Sounds are funny now. Paul cements the fact that he's a douchebag character by pulling out the "Don't you know who I am" card with the receptionist. But of course it doesn't work, so he asks to see the manager, who is more than accommodating to his overinflated ego.
Airbag!
Excuse me?
I sense what you're doing, Davina.
What am I doing?
Truthfully, being a bit transparent.
Remind me why we're supposed to be rooting for this guy.
Welcome back to Win Las Vegas, Mr. Sofo. We have the accommodations you requested all ready for you.
Huh. I wonder who the villain of this movie is.
You guys took me for a lot of money on my last visit.
Well, I hope you're able to turn that around this time.
Oh, I plan to.
I wonder if it's that guy over there being overly villainy. See, he even does villainesque stuff, like plans a ridiculous heist to steal precious artwork. Taking our storyline from the big book of cliches I see. Very nice. And it wouldn't be a movie set in Vegas without a gambling and losing a lot of money scene. Where's the joke here? He downed a root beer. In what universe is that a punchline? The only way I would laugh at that is if it was laced with cyanide. Paul heads to the reason he's in Vegas, the security convention, where he meets that other guy from King of Queens who tells him that he isn't doing the keynote speech.
Hey, Officer Panero.
Oh, the applesauce, hotshot. I heard of you. Rumor has it you thought you were giving the keynote tonight.
From who? The woman at check-in? The woman who told him that that was the case? Piss off. Ooh, my Spidey joke senses are tingling. I wonder if Paul's going to make a right tit of himself in 3, 2, 1. Bingo! Then they see a bunch of crazy weapons which I am willing to put money on will not make an appearance later in the film. Including a secret mega thing that even we don't get to see. But I'll save you the anticipation, it's a Segway done up like a tank. It's funny because it really isn't. Then the hotel head of security introduces himself to Paul and is aggressive for literally no reason. Because I guess we have to have a red herring as to who the real villain is?
Say Las Vegas has the best security in the world. Well, we're about to find out.
It is clearly this guy. Back in his room and Maya is missing. Better panic and be an irrational moron.
Give me security!
I would facepalm right now, but I am scared that I would do it so hard that I would die. Oh look, she's fine.
My daughter's missing. She's not answering her phone.
Mr. Blart.
In the last shot we saw that you would try to call her once. Maybe try a second time before calling the entire resort security team.
We need to establish motive. Do you have a lot of money?
These guys are equally as terrible. And then she rings him and they all leave, because of course they do. Are we going to get some kind of story starting soon? Because all he's doing at the moment is fucking about and not doing anything. Then Paul confronts Maya about her UCLA letter and she storms off and yada 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 sadness and bullshit. Meanwhile, the villains plan to steal a Vincent van Gogh painting. Stop talking about it and bloody do it already. But then the guy who was going to do the keynote speech passes out drunk. Who in the world are they going to get to do it now? Duh. Paul calls Maya to give her the good news, but she doesn't answer, so he goes outside to limber up ahead of his speech.
Hey! Nope, move along.
Okay.
Yeah!
Oh. Why? What the hell is the point of this? Okay, cool. It's a funny set piece. I get it. But there needs to be a reason for it. And there is literally no reason for it. Because he just leaves. And there is no payoff. He just leaves. He just fucking leaves. Wrestling the exotic bird is the new jumping the shark. Fuck this pathetic excuse for a movie. God. Then Paul gives his speech, which naturally starts badly but ends with a standing ovation because, let's just get straight to the point, Paul Blart is fucking amazing. But he is sad that Maya wasn't there to see it, but she missed the call because she's at a party with a friend.
You're supposed to tell me. Let's calm down. No one told me anything.
Oh,
How did she stumble into this? A moment ago she was at a party and now she's wandering into the villains. How is that possible unless they were having a party in the villain's suite? Sounds dumb, right? But then her friend wanders in as well. So either the kids are dumb for having a party in the villain's suite, or the villains are dumb for allowing a party to go unnoticed in their suite. Or there is a third option, or it's a really, really poorly contrived plot device. I'm going to go with all three. But Maya does manage to ring her dad in the nick of time, only for him to have a diabetic seizure or something. Quick, this kid's Drippy Ice Cream will save you. I have seen quite a lot of videos online like this. Yeah, you can stop now. Now it's gone full circle and I'm getting turned on. Okay. Here we go again. Then off he goes to save her. Finally, the plot begins at almost 50 minutes in. So what does our brave hero do? It's something. Then he moves on to the shipping area via Segway. Gotta force that in there somehow, I guess. There he spots some artifacts in crates. Nothing fishy about that. Let's focus on the black banana this guy's eating instead.
That's borderline black. I wouldn't eat that if I were you. That's...
It's funny because it's gross Then there's a chase. Chases are cool and fun. Too bad this chase ends with Paul climbing into a suitcase at the top of some stairs, knocking himself down the stairs and into the guy chasing him, and then out of the window and into the pool, where he thankfully drowns. The end.
Not today, Des! Not today!
Suspension of disbelief. His next place to run to and fuck about in is this show. He even has the foresight to grab some wings so he can blend in. And then he leaves, having achieved absolutely nothing, and kills this man with a fork.
It looks like we've come to a fork in the road.
What?
Fork you. My pun was better.
The Red Theater. Some cop may be onto us.
Maybe? Maybe? Did the chase and the shooting not give away the fact that he may be more than just onto you? Fuck's sake. Paul then realises what the sneaky bad guys are up to.
Windershins! It's about the art!
How did he get that just by looking at a painting? This man is a genius. The villains then snag their main prize, Van Gogh's sunflowers. I am no art expert or anything, far from it, but aren't Van Gogh's sunflowers in London right now? Now that Paul knows what's going on, he suddenly becomes badass, beating up villains all over the place and getting his hands on the painting, which he then uses to trade for his daughter back.
You are oblivious to the avalanche of insanity I'm about to unload. You don't know what I will do to you.
You don't know what I'll do to you! I will spin around until I throw up on you and your friends!
I've got nothing noteworthy to contribute towards this. Then Paul gets his friends and they have a big fight. Why nobody has called the actual police in this time, I'll never know. It could have saved a lot of hassle, including Paul having to follow the baddie and his daughter up to the roof where he ziplines across to try and save her. There's then more poor action and Paul has one final trick to play.
Up you go, Missy! Whoa! Whoa!
Alright guys, who took my show hair?
No, I think this requires some actual explanation as to how and why and where he got that from. Then his friends join him and he glues his feet, but all's miraculously saved and... by God, don't they just respect him now? There's just enough time so that they can award Paul for being brave or some shit and for him to learn his lesson and let Maya go to UCLA. Like I give a shit anyway. Can't end things on a nice heartwarming note though. We have to have a CGI Kevin James launched by a horse into a car. Spine-breakingly brilliant. So, what can I say about Paul Blart Mall Cop 2 that can't be summed up in one word? Shite. It has zero story, and what story there is cliched, weak and dull. This movie has genuinely bummed me out. The main character is detestable, there are no jokes that land, and the awful pointless set pieces are so bad that they make me want to commit seppuku. Does anybody have a sword I can borrow? Oh, hello. This is the point in the credits where your name would be if you were to support the show on Patreon. You'd also get access to old episodes of Shameful sequels that are no longer available online, as well as the chance to vote on upcoming episodes, which would be nice, wouldn't it? But if you would like to see more episodes of Shameful sequels and keep the show alive, then please do consider supporting the show at this link on Patreon. It would be absolutely marvellous if you could.